Okay, so we are on day number 6. We are going to finish up editing and we are going to get ready to distribute our video. It's going to be really great. Okay, so you've had kind of like a night to sleep on it. Now it's time to go back through and look at your video. It might not be completely finished yet. If you are finished, that's great, but you're still not done because here's what you're going to do. Today we're going to finish up editing. Now the first thing I want you to do is just sit down and I want you to look through everything that you've edited so far, just so you can kind of get a sense of it. Okay, so sit down, look at your whole video, sit down and just watch it in real time. Don't fast forward through stuff, go like, oh, I know that step. No, I want you to sit there and watch the entire video, okay? Now, once you've done that, I need you to go back and finish up any editing. Now, the other thing is that, of course, you need to mix in a music bed. Now, if you are familiar with music, first of all, you know that I do not like music from iMovie because everyone uses music from iMovie and it will make you white noise. You need to actually go out and buy a music bed. Okay, I actually have an article on DIY Video for bloggers about how to use music legally. You want to use music that you can put in a video that you can monetize. Very, very important. Don't get suckered into using what they call free music. It's usually free only if you don't monetize your video, and you always get paid for when you make videos, right? Yes, you do. So, you know, it's probably going to cost you about $15 to get a decent cut of music, but so worth it. And you can use it over and over and over again. Okay. So you can look at recommended places that I have, or if you have places that you like to go, great. But you're going to mix in music. Now, okay, once you've gone through, edited it, and then you add in music, and you always do audio last, okay, because that's kind of like the last finishing polish on stuff. You're going to go through and make sure that the editing kind of goes with the music. Now, if you have like a really slow, belabored piece of music and you're editing really fast, is that going to work? No, it's not going to work. You might have to make some tweaks there. Part of what a good editor does is that they kind of go with the music and they can kind of cut with the music. So I want you to then, after you've done editing, sit down, have the music bed with it, and see if it goes with it, if it goes with the pace and tempo with it. Okay? Now, the other thing is that you're going to make sure that all your levels on your audio looks good and that sort of thing. And then, of course, you're going to be getting ready to output it. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about outputting and distribution tomorrow, but there's a couple of things that I want you to kind of prep today after you're finished editing your video. The first thing is that you need to make a cover for your video, and it doesn't matter if it's on Facebook or YouTube, it needs to have a cover. So I am going to show you a cover for one of my videos, and I'm going to tell you why this kind of structure is important. The first part is that it's a strong image. So if you shrunk this down way far, and this is kind of important because YouTube will shrink its videos down. Hello, work with me. And this is actually just a good test you can do on your computer. You can still see how that clapboard is fairly dominant and the what is production value is still fairly legible. Okay. So it's important that once you shrink it down, you can still kind of get a general idea. Some images can be way too busy and it's hard to make out what's on it. The other thing is that in YouTube, in this bottom corner right here, in the lower right-hand corner, is where they usually put how long the video is. They have an overlay of the time of the video. And so you don't want anything important in this corner because it'll get covered up by YouTube. Okay, so which is why it's good to have your text over here and very strong black text against a white background. It pops really well. Strong basic image. Can you grab a freeze frame from it? Of course you can, but let me show you, like, look at these lovely freeze frames of my face that YouTube has pulled. You really don't want to do that. You really want to stick with something that you have control of. So have that in mind. You might need to actually go retake a picture of whatever you're demonstrating with that format in mind. Okay. So it's easier to make a cover for YouTube and for Facebook for that. Okay. So you're just going to save that as a JPEG. I believe the size, it's 1280 by 720 pixels. Okay. And make sure you have a nice cover for your video, because that is part of the incentive to get people to click, right? Is that, ooh, that looks fun. Does it have to have text on it? A couple of things. While it's okay with YouTube, Facebook doesn't necessarily always like that, especially if you plan on boosting your video at all. So it's kind of up to you. You might want to do 2 covers. You might want to do one for YouTube and one for Facebook, or you might just want to just put it on YouTube and have a promo video to go to Facebook. Now, that's the other quick thing I'm going to talk to you about since we're editing. You have to decide if you want to put everything on Facebook or not. I tend to shy away from that. I've done that a couple times. I don't really feel like it helps me out. What does seem to work, though, is kind of do a teaser video for Facebook and then point it at my tutorial for the full video. Does that make sense? I don't even necessarily point it towards YouTube. I will point it towards my page on my blog and then have the YouTube video embedded there. Okay? That's how I tend to do it. You're welcome to run experiments and see how you want to do it. Now, you can do the whole thing on Facebook and see where it goes. Just make sure that you try to have something to incentivize people to like your page or to get more information, because you want to have that video to lure people in towards you. Come closer, come see more cool stuff I can teach you. So that's why I recommend you kind of do the teaser video on Facebook, and you can do the whole thing on YouTube, because at least you get paid somehow on YouTube with monetization. As small as it is, at least it's something. Okay. Now, the third option is, of course, there are ad agencies out there that you can, and they'll do ad overlays and they'll upload your video and that sort of thing. But that's a whole other, it's a whole other level of things. If you're just getting started with video, you're just going to want to stick with YouTube and Facebook and possibly Instagram and just leave it there. All right. So finish up editing today, make your cover for your video, and we're going to talk more about distribution tomorrow.